back to Drummer Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Today, Jake Paul. No, wait, we're doing a book. Born in Crime by Trevor Noah. Now, Trevor Noah grew up in apartheid, and they had laws for sex. No white person could have sex with a black person, no matter the gender. Now, Trevor's mom was of Exo descent, which is a South African tribe, and his dad is of Swiss descent. So that obviously makes a mix. So he was basically a walking crime. Now, Trevor's mom didn't really enforce the relationship, and Trevor describes it as, my mom was wild and impulsive, and my father was reserved and rational. She was father, he was eyes. They were opposites that attracted, and I'm a mix of both. But the relationship didn't really last. So his mom started dating a guy named Abel. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But Trevor Noah, he grew up in kind of a crazy life. There were a couple instances, like one time they took minibuses, and minibuses were funded by private companies, so they weren't your typical bus driver. Now, since one day they had to take a minibus to get to church, and the minibus driver was a male of another tribal descent, and at that time, the tribes were feuding over who was the better tribe. And so the bus driver was already a little bit mad at that. And so also Trevor's mom was being disrespectful towards the man, and he got really ticked off at that. So Trevor's mom made the decision to get them out of the situation of how dangerous it could potentially be. So Trevor's mom threw Trevor out of the bus to potentially save Trevor and get him out of danger. And so being thrown out of a bus is a pretty big turning point and to seeing the real world. Now, Trevor's mom started dating, and she found a man named Abel. Now, Abel seemed nice from the start, but it wasn't really that way. Abel soon became abusive from being drunk. Trevor describes him as being a monster when he is drunk. And he started becoming abusive towards Trevor's mom and himself and Trevor. And so Trevor also says that he never came home from work sober. And every time he committed violence towards either Trevor or his mom, it became a little bit worse. And eventually, Trevor's mom started making more money than Abel did, and that really made Abel mad. So he began drinking more, and when you drink more, he became more mad. And so eventually, he came home from work one day, and he was already very ticked off, and they had gotten into a conflict over something. So he pulled out a gun and started shooting, and Trevor's mom jumped in front of him to save him, and Abel ended up shooting Trevor's mom. And she survived, but that also became a very big turning point to seeing how the real world works. And one of the themes, or one of the messages I draw out of this book, is that not everyone should be able to overcome the obstacles that have been placed in front of them. It's one of the messages I drew out that I feel like Trevor's trying to convey. And I feel like he learned that throughout the book. He displayed that throughout the book. And yeah, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and post notification. And I'm Killer Keemstar signing out. Welcome back to Drumler Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Now today, Jake Paul. Oh no, wait. We're doing a book review. Welcome back to Drumler Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news today. Jake Paul. Wait. We're doing a book review today, ladies and gentlemen. Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Now, Trevor Noah's mom is of Exo descent, and his dad is of Swiss descent. So he was born a mixed child, and when he grew up in an apartheid, and the law was there was no white on black sex. So he was basically a walking crime. Now, he's had a lot of crazy stuff happen in his life, and Trevor develops from a young, naive child to understanding how the world works and how everything seems and the dangers in the real world. Now, he's had a lot of stories, and one of these stories is when him and his mom had to take a minibus. Now, minibuses were owned by private companies, so you could get any type of driver. So their driver was of Exo descent. No, it's not Exo. What is it? One. Welcome back to Drumler Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news today. Jake Paul. Wait, we're not doing a book. Welcome back to Drumler Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news today. Jake Paul. Wait, no. We're doing a book report now. I don't really like book reports, but, got my boy Trevor Noah and Born a Crime. Now, this man has been through a lot. He was born in apartheid. One of the rules is that there was no white on black sex. Now, his mom was Swiss, and his dad, his dad. Welcome back to Drumler Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Now, today, Jake Paul. Oh no, wait. We're doing a book. Oh, I didn't get the book.